So I've hit a bunch of milestones this year, and with all this conversation, it's been really interesting, specifically to see all this conversation around, you know, Black lives and trans lives, and conversations that honestly I never thought would ever happen. Specifically on places like LinkedIn, obviously all social media networks in general. So it's kind of made me reflect a bit, and I know obviously some of these conversations have passed, but it's made me reflect a little bit about the how this journey for me has gone, being Black and trans and running a business and being entrepreneurial over the last 4 or 5 years. And it's just really incredible to see these worlds kind of collide, because for so long I thought that in order for me to succeed in business, I would have to not tell anybody that I was trans, to the point where when I started doing marketing, I started running Facebook ads and everything, I actually made a whole separate Facebook profile so that I could network without people knowing anything about my past. Because if they went on my other Facebook channel, my other Facebook page, they'd see things related to maybe transition or other pieces of work that I'd done that are trans related. And so for a really long time, I kind of lived in this perpetual fear that I'd be in a meeting, or I would be working with someone, and then they would like Google my name or something, or someone would tell them that I was trans, and then they wouldn't want to work with me anymore. And I just thought that that was just going to continue forever. And so in the last few years, it's been so amazing. And so I just wanted to kind of make a comment on that I had at least a vision for myself, or a dream, that at some point these worlds would collide and I'd be able to make a video like this where I could just say that I was trans, and have it be I wouldn't have to worry so much about the people not wanting to work with me because of it. And I think a lot of that has been happening slowly over time. The first job that I did where my worlds kind of collided was the marketing director for a nonprofit called Get Real. Basically, I did a lot of our marketing and communications, video and advertising, as well as speaking about my transition in the schools, which was part of the nonprofit work that was being done. So that was the first time that those things kind of came together. The second time they came together was actually last summer during Pride in New York. Shopify asked me to moderate a panel about entrepreneurship and about e-commerce, and it was an LGBT panel, obviously, because it's related to Pride. And I was able to be up there and talk about my work and talk about customer retention and my passion for e-commerce, and my passion for digital media buying and all of the ads and everything like that, as well as talking about my experience being trans and how this has kind of worked for me traditionally in a business world where I work with a lot of men, and in marketing I find that there's a lot of men, and so how I've kind of gotten past my fear of not being, I guess, good enough or able to be in those types of spaces. I transitioned 10 years ago, but at the same time, that fear that people won't accept you for who you are stayed with me. So I just want to say that I'm now at a place where a lot of those things, I'm definitely, if you look at my stuff, a lot of the stuff is related together. Obviously I'm talking about it now. So if anybody out there feels like they maybe are in business or they have a job, but they can't talk about other elements of their experiences, we're now in a time where that's possible, and it's really amazing. And so I want to encourage anybody who might be feeling like they can't to do it anyway, and anyone who has already decided to merge their worlds, whether they're LGBT, whether there's something else about them that they feel like might have held them back in business, or that was a big fear for them in terms of working with clients, just to say that you can do it, and you are enough, and it is possible, and there's nothing to be ashamed about, especially in today's day and age. So just wanted to say that.